Try to bring the meeting to order if we're set.
Everybody,
Ready?
hey, everybody, instead of
I'm up.
he's trying to call the meeting to order.
Yep. Meeting call to order. Do we need to take a roll call for quorum?
Yeah, not a bad idea.
Fitzgerald will be absent. Kristen is coming.
Yes, she thought she was gonna be here early.
Sally will be absent. Kate Fanning.
Here.
Kareem will be absent. Mike Sherrick.
Here.
Jessica Christman.
Here.
And Rick Weinhopper.
Here. So we have.
Good.
Yes.
Perfect. Wonderful. Do we have any public comment today?
Okay.
Do you want to stand up and introduce yourself today?
Yes.
I'm Jimmy McHale from Troop 413.
Oh, hey.
And Jimmy, why are you here
413?
I'm here to do a prerequisite for communications merit badge.
Wonderful. Well, we're happy to have you, Jimmy. If you have any questions, let us know and we'll try to get you answered, all right?
Jimmy, what rank are you working towards?
I'm working towards second class.
Nice.
Hello. All right, and in the email sent out, next up, we do have to approve the March 2024 meeting minutes.
I have a comment on them. I had emailed Melissa about it. Just there was I caught one mistake under the section about Earth Day.
Okay.
I emailed her. You have it. But essentially, what would you say?
Amend.
I propose that we amend the meeting minutes because we're partnering with, right there, thank you, the Earth Day. Set up meeting, stop, do that, 1 second, let me see here.
It was
there, okay, so Jessica's working with Berks County Conservation District to host the activity in Wyomissing Creek. So that actually, Berks County Conservation District, we were talking with them, but the people that are running that is actually Penn State Extension's Master Watershed Stewards. So Penn State Extension, the Master Watershed Stewards are running that, and it's geared towards like teenagers, not necessarily young adults.
So we'll
I had
entertain the motion to amend the minutes reflecting instead of Berks County Conservation District, that it's the Berks County National Extension?
No, Penn State
Penn State,
Extension Master Watershed Stewards. Whoa. I emailed it to her, so she has the wording. So she has the wording. Yeah.
Stewards.
Yeah,
And will anyone make that motion?
I make the motion.
Make a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? All right, meeting minutes are approved.
Okay.
Next up, the financial report.
Blow that up so you can actually see it.
Anyone have any questions on the financial report this month? Seeing no questions, do we have a motion to approve the financial report? We have a motion. Would anyone like to second the financial report? You have a question, or you can make a second, and then we can talk about the discussion.
So I might have missed a meeting or missed the reading of the minutes to this, but the lifeguards are not getting raises, they're getting actually less than they were getting, some of them last year. Can that be clarified? Are some of the lifeguards being paid less than they were last year?
No. If anything, they're the same, and basically what I told everybody during the process was I wasn't gonna give pay raises just because you're coming back. Just because it was done that way in the past. I had somebody today, actually a parent and somebody coming back who questioned it, and once I explained to them that I don't know them at all, and just because they're a third year returning doesn't mean that they should be getting a pay increase. The pay increases are based on merit and performance. And until we get to judge and see how they perform and what the work they do, in years past, we basically did participation ribbons for people, from hours to pay increases, everything with it. If you just came there, you got a pay raise. It had nothing to do with how good you were at your job. And once I explained it to everybody during the interview process, everybody's like, okay, I get it. So if I come in and I really do my job well, then there's a chance I could get a pay increase. Yep,
During
absolutely.
the season?
But nobody took a step down.
So during the season they could get a raise?
Absolutely. It's based on performance, but like most
So they didn't
jobs
have end
are.
of the year reviews to look at?
What's that?
They didn't have end of the year reviews to look at? And why was that not done?
Probably because your rec director left before we did them.
So So you could have looked at those and,
Well, there weren't any.
That's,
right, but yeah, too bad.
and
So that's unfortunate that because you don't know them, that they're not able to.
Well, I don't know any.
Right, I know, it's just an unfortunate situation that, because there's a new person, that they're not getting,
Well,
you know,
no, I don't think it's just that. It's also that from the feedback we got from Playground to Pool both, that there
Yeah.
were a lot of people that took advantage of the situation and got pay increases just for being there. Now, they
Right.
could be sitting in the back smoking cigarettes or scrolling through their phone, and they got a pay rate, or they pay increase, or they got the same amount of hours as somebody who busted their butt.
right, we
So
talked
it's not
about those
fair,
situations,
it's not
right.
that, it's not fair.
True,
And it's
That
not an
isn't fair.
incentive to keep good people when you're rewarding bad people.
right.
and on top of that, it doesn't sound like anybody declined to come back because they're not getting.
Right.
That's good, that's good. They need a job.
Are the new people
They're
coming
not in a
in?
position to, by the way, the young people aren't in a position to kind of figure out where they can work based on who can pay more. They're just happy to have employment. So I know that my daughter's not searching for like, who's gonna pay me more at this point. So and she was talking to me about her what she was being paid, and I was like, oh, this is really interesting. I didn't know if I missed that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, if she has questions, she can contact me
Of course
versus
she can.
going
Well,
through you.
I'm not asking for on her behalf, I'm asking as a general
Oh,
whole.
okay.
Because we had talked about the abuse that the lifeguards did with the hours last year, personally what I know. And some of them who don't do that are suffering that because of other people's behavior.
And unfortunately, it's gotta be a hard line, and I hate to say it, start over, yeah.
It is unfortunate because they shouldn't have to start over just because you're new, you
But
know what I mean?
But the problem also is you didn't bring those concerns to our attention until the end of the season when the prior rec director was gone, that we could do something
Who,
about
me?
it. The first I heard about that was after he had left. So,
Well,
I mean, those are things in real time as they're happening,
Yeah.
administration needs to hear about so we can do something.
Jim, what was your question?
Okay, then that's not my fault though.
No,
We're not,
Okay,
we're
right,
not
I mean,
saying
I
it
might have
is.
known, but like, also it's wasn't my job, you know, I mean, okay, I get it. I will speak up if I hear anything sooner than later.
Thank you.
This is interesting.
But it's also not because he's new, he's just implementing a new
Right.
procedure. He's doing merit-based raises instead of yearly, based upon how many years you're there.
Right,
It's
just a
just
new,
a
a new
different,
angle.
it's a different
Yeah.
policy, it's not.
A new way.
It's not, it's
Yeah.
not.
I get you. Great, thanks.
Any other questions on the financial report?
Jen, had one?
Just about the pay, so everybody who's coming back is no one's getting a decrease.
No.
Okay. Have we decreased newcomers' wages? Like I saw in
No.
last month's, there
Everybody,
was a suggestion that perhaps wages would go down in last
By
month's
cutting hours.
minutes.
By cutting hours, meaning keeping a realistic.
Okay, the way I read it was
I
Yeah.
think, was
pay
there,
rates were going down.
was there also not some discussion, there were a few people at a higher pay rate who declined to come back? Those jobs are not being backfilled at that
Right.
same pay rate. So we had some folks at a higher pay rate who are not coming back, and those
Okay.
jobs are going to be filled at a lower pay rate.
Okay, the way I read it was, we're thinking of decreasing salaries,
No.
and I was like, that's not a good idea.
yeah,
Okay,
there's still the starting salary,
Right.
hourly salary, that
Okay.
both playground, pool lifeguards and pool front desk attendants, everybody starts at that number.
sounds good, thanks.
Any other questions on the financial report? So I believe we had a motion already for the financial report. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? All right, so financial report is approved. On to committee reports. Just as a reminder, we want to try to keep committee reports a little bit more abbreviated, so we'll try to keep it to maybe 5 to 7 minutes for committees tonight. See how it goes.
Oh, I was so
Pressure,
focused
pressure.
on my playground report that I missed that I was supposed to do an egg hunt recap, so it's gonna be real brief.
Well, the recaps are always short.
It went well. There were a lot more people as always. There were some fights amongst the parents, which was a new one this year. We need significantly more adult volunteers. And I think because of the attendance at this event, worth considering making it one where more board members perhaps attend as well. We just need more adults. We had drama kids there, and they can't keep the people away from
Pushy
kids.
parents.
Yeah,
I mean, that's hard as a kid to kind of stand
yeah,
up to an
yeah,
adult
so
you're
we
used to
just-
respecting.
we need more adults. But we have our lists of yeah, police could help too. But yeah, I think next year we'll do more eggs. We liked spreading it out. It helped assigning the different times for the different age groups. But I think we're gonna divvy up the age groups a little bit differently and maybe tweak the time in between a little bit. So we have some tweaks we'll make for next year, but it was a big hit having the coffee cart there. That went over really well. So we have some changes to make, but nothing major. The Easter Bunny being there was a big hit as well. So we got a lot of good feedback, some negative, of course, as always, but nothing significant. So I think it went well overall. I just think the
Please stand.
Sorry.
It doesn't want
I'm sorry.
People don't please leave the room.
Sounds like AC/DC, but I don't know what it is.
the biggest thing is just trying to get more adult hands on deck. So we talked to Alvernia and Penn State Borough. So we are set up in their systems now to
Oh, that's a
get
good idea.
volunteers. So I'm hoping through that we'll get some people. So maybe that will be in our rotation, and maybe that will be helpful by next year.
That's a good idea, especially teacher prep programs.
Mhm.
Like, so if you have like 20-year-olds that you know want to work with
Mhm.
kids, they're like, that's like the perfect age group to go after for all of the things, like playground, pool,
Yeah.
the different activities that you do.
Yep, so it was good, it was a success, we have some changes, but nothing huge, and I think, I think it went well. I was nervous, but I think overall it went okay. I don't know if you have anything to add, Randy?
No, that was about the big, I think we were planning for 600 kids and we had well over that.
A billion.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I think it would help if you, maybe one suggestion would be to make it bigger, like to make, cause the egg hunt we timed it was 45 seconds. Like, that is like madness, so I feel like that's probably why fights,
That was one of the
things
to do better is
it
even
was-
though they might have had a bigger footprint, we could make them even
they need to be bigger. Apparently it used to be the whole hillside, that's what like some people that had grew up in the area were saying, that it was like that whole hill, so kids would like start at the bottom of the hill, and they couldn't go to the top of the hill and start down, they all started at the bottom, it was like they started at the bottom, but it was so spread out that like, and the kids had to work for their eggs, so it lasted longer, and then more kids probably got eggs.
Yeah.
But even like, I mean,
They were bigger groups.
my son like it was like, I don't know, like I feel like
So
spread it
I
out,
think
cause 45
we'll have
seconds
that-
is stressful.
That size into consideration
Yeah.
on there, so we'll move on.
Yeah.
Any other comments for the egg hunt? Wonderful. All right, Earth Day. Jess, we're looking for the Earth Day recap today.
Yeah, things are going really well. We finalized a lot of things since the last meeting. I don't think I have a lot of major updates. Randy's been posting some of the stuff that's going on, like what we have going on. You can see the map there was attached in the email that was sent out. So in the pavilion on the left side, we have like crafts, including like Girl Scouts are doing like a craft, and environmental clubs doing a craft, libraries doing a craft. We have a puzzle table and we have raffles. We are in need of volunteers. So we have like, I know Kate had said she can be at the event.
Yeah, I can be there.
You can be there. Wonderful, Mike. Thank you. Because we need like,
Yeah, and my son will show up too.
how old is he?
He's 15.
Perfect.
He's Berks Catholic.
Awesome.
Yeah, he'll do it.
Okay, I'm gonna put you down then.
Yeah.
Okay?
I'll be there through the early part, but have to leave probably by about 11 to get to a soccer game.
Gotcha. Okay, but that's great. So, and son, 15. Yes. Great.
I told Jana as well I'd be there, but I've got Girl Scouts and the EAC table, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's different. Like you're running
Yeah.
that table. You're not like.
Well, I'm not running that table, they have people. I've
Oh, gotcha.
committed to nothing, except to being there.
Oh, that's good.
Because I have the Girl Scouts that I might need to help too.
Okay.
So like,
But
if either one of them need me, then you can have me.
Okay,
What
that
time
sounds
do you need
good.
us there?
We're doing setup at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So if you can be there 8 o'clock, that's awesome. And then the yoga and the farmer's market start at 9:30. And then all the kids' stuff starts at 10.
Okay.
So then like, we'll have puzzle table, raffles, Gaga court, like Randy did some work, had some work done on the Gaga courts, it should be much more in better condition for the kids to play. There's a scavenger hunt for like younger kids, like it's texture based, they go around and find things like based on texture. There's a lot of stuff to do, and the farmer's market's shaping up nicely too, so we're excited about that. So volunteers, you guys helped me, that was a big thing. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. A couple, like, I have a couple things to talk to Randy about, I don't need to bring it up at the meeting. Oh, the Berks County Rocks, so that that idea that I had, like, turned out so well. Like they're like all these people are making rocks and they're beautiful. So they're gonna be hidden. So if you're volunteering to help set up, part of what we'll be doing is hiding these rocks like all over Happy Hollow. Some for kids to find, but also hide some really hard ones for adults. Because you can kind of tell, like some of them are like, more adult based, like this one's kind of cool. But there's been a lot of response to that, like 5 or 6 people volunteered to paint, so that was really cool, and they've been dropping them off. So we'll need help with that. Oh, yeah, that's a Randy thing. That's a Randy thing. Most of it's just like little details at this point. I don't have any major updates. One thing we maybe want to pull the board on is Kimberton donated 125 reusable shopping bags with discount coupons, and we were debating how to give those away. So we're like, do you give them to the first people that are there? Do you give them to the first adults that are there? Do you give them to people that make purchases at the farmer's market? Like, how do you give away those 125 reusable bags with discount? I don't know what the discount is, do you?
Yeah, I don't know.
I would definitely give them to adults.
And
Yeah.
the EAC table.
Adults,
Yeah.
give them to adults.
EAC needs some swag for their quiz games.
Yeah, we would definitely take some of them for winning prizes for you.
Are you doing the shells, or you could just?
As adults come.
I don't think
We're doing the
that.
shells.
They're not
we
doing
weren't-
the shells.
No, we weren't gonna do
Okay.
any prizes, cause it was like, why put more, like, the concept is to be.
But especially if
like-
they're trying to gear it a little more towards adults, it seems kind of just let them handle it.
Yeah, we can definitely hand them out at that table, I'm sure.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah. Kimberton didn't really have any criteria for giving them out, they were just happy to donate them. And from reading
Yeah.
past notes, Giant used to do it, and it went over really well, that everybody loves getting those, they just keep buying them at the grocery store, so they love getting them for free, so they gave us 125.
Yeah, like if we have 125, if somebody stops by the table to talk to us, they get one. It's that easy, it doesn't have to just be.
So do you think that table can give them out completely, even
I'm
if just
sure.
people walk by, hey, take a free
Well,
bag?
I would know. I would make them do your trivia game. We
Well,
spent a lot
some of them are
time
gonna
on
do the trivia game, no,
some.
but I mean, how many people are you gonna get through the trivia game? Not 125,
Not in 2 hours.
not in 2 hours.
If you're giving away prizes, come do some trivia. I don't know how, what they look
Yeah,
like.
like they need to talk to us.
Yeah, depends on that.
Yeah.
I feel like just arriving to the table is way enough to get a bag.
But then people are deciding to go and they're not.
Here's a bag. Happy birthday.
So, but that's, okay, so we'll do it at the R&R table. Raffle prizes, we struggled this year with raffle prizes, I brought this up at the last meeting as well, that, so if anybody has ideas for raffle prizes, like that's still a need area. We have, like Giant came through with gift cards, but we don't have, like, we
They
don't
haven't,
have raffle prizes, like,
as an update, they haven't given those to me yet.
They
The
still
person-
haven't.
The person who promised them got transferred to another store, and so
Limbo.
now I had to fill out new paperwork. So right, as of today, I gave her the paperwork on Thursday, and as of today, I've got no response.
right. Okay, so we really need raffle prizes. So I asked you to consider what you would like, think about that, like, raffle prizes are like $20 to $40 range. So if you have any connections or you're willing to go out and buy a gift card, let me know.
Redner's is always pretty good about donating, if you wanna call that.
I mean, I made like Longwood Gardens, Reading Science Center, I have like a lot out there. Reading Museum, I filled out a lot of things, but I have not secured really anything, so, yeah. And that's for, I think the other thing is like I think that's pretty much it, I guess. I don't have anything else for the good of the order,
Do
like
you
I'll talk
have
to
a
you.
question, Sarah?
Yeah, so about the Gaga Ball pit,
Mm-hmm.
I know sometimes when it rains, the Gaga Ball pit will get flooded, and just be super muddy for multiple days. Was that like taken care of, or how did you handle the Gaga Ball pit situation?
The guys from Public Works went in and stripped it out, took all the weeds out, put, mesh down and filled it with playground mulch,
Okay,
so it won't be muddy.
It looks good.
okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah.
Gaga away.
All right, wonderful. Moving on, the summer playground program
Okay.
overview. Uh-oh.
Alright, I have it typed out. I'm gonna skim it though, so. Alright, so we made some pretty big tweaks this year. So Brandy and I sort of went top to bottom because neither of us were familiar with how it worked. We found that the program was very top heavy. There were 3 adults working 35 to 40 hours a week. They were paid pretty high hourly rates. They didn't have job descriptions or schedules and weren't really using their time very effectively. We interviewed them. We asked what feedback they could give, what they could provide as far as improvements. They really didn't have anything to give us, so we hired some new people. So we have 2 part-time women who are gonna be starting, or I think they did start
They
or
start
start
next
next week. So they'll both be working, they're gonna start soon, working 5-ish hours a week now. Previously, the first day for the adults was the very first day of playground. So nothing was done to prepare. So they're gonna start now. Erin Hatfield is gonna be working, yes, you know her. So she's a teacher. She has 3 daughters at the elementary school, and she's gonna be working on a curriculum, themes for the week, projects and things that can go along with those themes. And then Nikki Craybill is also a parent at the school. She has 2 kids and she coaches, she volunteers at the school all the time. She is gonna be taking over the counselors. So she's gonna be doing an orientation, she's gonna be creating a handbook, like training, rules, guidelines. There were not really any job descriptions that they had either. So she's gonna be, they're kinda gonna divvy it up that way. So they're gonna start now, prepare all of that in advance so that the orientation for the counselors can be done prior to the start of the program. They can familiarize them with everything prior to the start. And then when the first week of camp gets up and running, it's gonna be circus week. And we're gonna have a juggler, and we're gonna have balloon animals, and we're gonna have like the works, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. But our goal is to have a very loose structure, but themes that can be sent out in advance. The parents will have them, they will know what to expect, the kids will know what to expect. There will still be the opportunity for unstructured free play for the kids who want that, but we found that there are kids who wanna run, there are kids who wanna sit in the color, and then there are kids who wanna wander, and there are also kids who need routine and they need to know what to expect, and we wanna kind of cater to all of them. And so Nikki and Erin really seem to understand that, and they've been having all of these thoughts as well. They've really had an interest in this prior, so they've had kind of these thoughts in advance, so they are ready to get up and running. So I think it'll be great. So we have a theme, the best day ever. So the kids, we got a lot of feedback just that the kids were coming home and they were bored. They didn't wanna go, they were leaving early. The parents, their kids weren't engaged, they were debating not signing them up, enrollment was down. So we want to improve that. So we're hoping that the themes and the structure will help that, and we're also hoping that working with the staff and improving their engagement is gonna help that as well. So we're gonna work with the staff, we're gonna really train them and empower them. It seems like a lot of them didn't really know what to do in a lot of situations. They didn't know how to work with the kids. They didn't know what to do to get them to become engaged. If a kid didn't want to play, they didn't know how to draw them out, or they didn't want to, or they didn't feel like they needed to. And so we want to really hire those who want to be there and who want to learn. And so through the interviews, we found some kids who didn't want to do that, and we found some who came in and said, well, this is what I saw, and this is what I think would help, and this is how I think I would change it. And those kids are excited, and we wrote it all down, and I think a lot of that aligned with what we were seeing too, so they seem excited about the changes as well.
Do you still have adequate staffing levels with some of the kids who might not have extended offers to, or who might not be accepted?
Yes, yep, so we've had a lot of offers that have come back. We have a few that are still out, but it seems to align with how it has been in past years.
From what Kathy's told me, and Kathy sends out the job offers, she said that it's in tune. You know, kids today, today I got an email from a kid who has been there for 3 years, and he's a sophomore in college, and he said, oh, this email's been sitting in my drafts since February, I meant to send it out to you, I forgot, I definitely want to come back. And so inside I'm thinking, wait, way to really work hard to get a job, but in talking to Kathy, this is pretty normal, that these are young adults who aren't the quickest to reply, and so I think that we're in line with the response rate of what we expected. There's been some that didn't want to come back, that have aged out. In other words, they went and got a real job. There's been those who were like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. There's been those who had, it wasn't that much fun, I didn't really enjoy it, and after we explained to them how we've changed it, we're like, oh no, I'm back. I definitely want to come back. I love what you're doing. So right now I feel really good with where we're at.
Sounds like the top line of a mere 10 years ago, when my kids went, it was just like that. So it's exciting, thank you.
Yeah.
And I just want to remind you guys, this is a real time teenager parent reminder, is that they, when they go to get their clearances, they don't have credit cards or debit cards because they're not old enough. So when they go to get their clearances and they have to pay online, they have to get their parents, corner their parents, ask their parents to sit down, then they have to do their 20 minutes of work, then they have to make sure their parents have their credit card. So it's not just them not getting the clearances, it's trying to find their parents' time too, to do that. So I just want to remind you guys that they don't have that ability all the time.
Yeah.
It's hard to understand, I'm living it, until she can nail me down and say, hey, can you pay for this? You know,
Yeah.
so.
And are you guys
Be
still looking
patient,
at,
they're doing it.
are you still looking at the hours, like send people home for coverage or vacation weeks? Is that still part of what you're looking at?
Yes, so we found that no matter, so the ratio is 1 to 10, one counselor to 10 kids, but they were staffing, no matter how many kids were there, the counselor stayed. So part of what Nikki will do is monitor that, and we'll cut based upon how many kids are there. So if kids are leaving or signing out, or if attendance is low, people can voluntarily leave, or based upon, these goals that we have set for them, if you're showing up and you're doing the absolute bare minimum, you're gonna be the first one who's told to go, and then the people who are going above and beyond are gonna be the ones that get the hours and are, rewarded in that way. And so hopefully that's going to incentivize a bit, and then that will help, financially as well with the salaries.
Is the ratio the same for tot lot and playground? Like, is it 1 to 10 for tot lot?
Yes.
4-year-olds?
Yeah.
It seems like, I think to me, that ratio, like, 1 to 10 is a lot with 4-year-olds.
Yeah.
Because they can be 4 by, is it September? Some of them could be 3.
No.
That seems, I'm pretty sure it's 5, because we could have sent Aiden last year, and we
William
didn't.
went when he was 3.
Yeah, you can send them when they're, like, they just have to turn 4 by September, I believe. So I would just suggest that I would suggest that you look at the ratio between the two
That
groups.
1 to 10 is a national number.
It's the state, I know it's the state.
For hotline.
It's the state guideline, I know that, and I know Claire was going to be turning 4,
Mhm.
and Pete wouldn't let me send her last year, because she wasn't going to be 4
Is there a cutoff date?
in time.
I'm
Is it what?
pretty sure that
That
on
update
the-
for registration?
on
No, like an
Birthday.
age, like you have to be 4 by,
September 1st.
There it is.
that's how
So
we're
I could have
gonna,
sent Eden, he would have been 3
So
the
that's
whole
the same
summer.
as school
yeah.
for their cover.
I think if you guys remember when the last few meetings, pool and playground were the 2 things that made me the most nervous about the entire program. And I think that the work that Kristen has done with, behind the scenes interviews with parents, kids, playground leaders, people who've been in the program, has been tremendous in what we've built now. I mean, I think that we have what could potentially be the best playground program around. If everything goes how we have it laid out and planned. We've done our homework, we've put hours into thinking through this process. We built an a parent handbook. We're working on the employee handbook. We're defining roles and responsibilities. The best people are gonna get the most hours. We've eliminated waste at the top. So I think we've built a great program. I have no fear with the people that we put in place to run the program. And
Yeah.
between the chair of the program, the tradition of the program, I have 100% confidence in it.
But that's the ratio, and it comes down to the parent if he wants it or not.
Yeah, I feel like, is that published, the ratio?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It is
It's
on the
everywhere.
Yep.
Yeah, it's on the disclaimer and everything, multiple times.
1 to 10 for including Tala.
Just seems
Thank you
like a
so
lot.
much, it sounds great.
If I just interject from an incentive standpoint, from somebody who's worked in a restaurant and who's ran a restaurant, you wanna give your best workers the first choice to leave.
Yeah.
Yes.
You don't send home the bad guys, cause then they're just
Oh,
getting,
well, yeah, so it's
Yeah, if your
gonna-
best workers are there and they wanna leave, do you wanna stay or go? I wanna
Slightly
go to
different
them.
though because tips. I'm following your train of
No,
thought.
but still,
yeah.
like, they
Yeah.
might wanna
They'll
stay
show
for
you
the
the
money,
true
they might
colors.
wanna go just because
Yeah,
they're
we give
tired,
them-
they stayed up
Quitters
too
are
late
gonna
that
line
night.
up
the
for-
option.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, so
They're
we're
gonna
gonna do
volunteer
that,
to
but
go.
we're also.
Who's that? The quitters.
Right.
They're gonna volunteer to go.
Yeah,
Right, so
We're
give
gonna
the
get-
choice to your good people.
Mhm.
Their true colors will come out.
yeah, yeah. And we're gonna get with some businesses too, so we're gonna have gift cards, and we're gonna have our goal is to raise the rates because the pay rates are low to me. Ridiculous. That makes me cringe. But we're gonna incentivize them in other ways, until we can figure out this way. But between Nikki and Aaron and their rates, we are gonna save a significant amount. So I think come next year, we're gonna see a big shift in salaries, and I'm hoping that's gonna give us some wiggle room.
And we also see
And-
enrollment going back up.
Yeah,
Where
and
it's
that,
declined over the past few years.
I think come next year, we're gonna have a different situation where we can make some changes, hopefully, if it all goes to plan.
Wonderful. Anything else on your list we didn't get to yet?
No, sorry, I went over my time.
Just wanna make sure, any other questions for Kristen?
Thank you.
Thank you so much, we appreciate all the work, we're excited to see it.
Yeah,
Good
it'll
job.
be fun.
All right, Mike for the pool.
So, I can keep this short. I could say that, pool committee's employing the same strategy as playground in, trying to, start off new and, find out who's gonna work and who's not gonna work. This past month, we've been, committee's been kind of engaged, with figuring out, how we're gonna utilize the pool to the community, rentals and stuff like that. So, right now we have, Randy sent a spreadsheet of how who rented the pool, the pavilion. I think there was maybe about 15 people, Randy, on that list. And, we'd like to maybe double that, and get some revenue. So, just trying to figure out how it's been done and how it can be improved. So I guess the next week, the pool committee wants to get in the pool in the office and figure out what's in there, what needs to be in there, what doesn't need to be in there, and, looking forward to doing that.
Wonderful. Any other questions for the pool committee? Thank you for the update.
Yeah.
Again, exciting to see. And again, if we get more people getting rentals in there, it seems great.
I'm hoping, yeah, trying to engage the community.
Wonderful. So Randy, what's on the director's report tonight?
From a financial side, the revenues versus expenses, you guys saw that. There has been a change. Wyomissing Rec, I'm learning more and more about that and how to utilize it. For instance, where you see item 4, Wyomissing Rec activities and memberships, as of last week, it was $34,000. Since then, it's already gone up $6,000 more, so we're over $40,000 in fees collected through memberships with each event, or each activity between the lessons and so on. The one to take note of is the playground program. Historically, it always starts slow, and the last 10 days there's a big rush to register because people realize there's a deadline. People want to hold on to their money longer. So right now, I feel good that we're still going to get that. There's another $126 in miscellaneous donations from a kind person or nice resident, but that kind of gives you a breakdown. Fundraising campaign, more money came in, so we're a little bit over $10,000 in collected so far. Events, our next stargazing event, the second in the series, is this Friday. Elan, the director, he's a teacher in Pottstown, very energetic guy, great. The response from the first one was terrific. You guys came out and you saw it off and on between the 2 hours. There was over 50 people there, and it was still kind of chilly, so we're expecting even more. And cloudy. But you could still see Saturn and the moons. And it was neat. As a guy who's not that big into astronomy or astronomy, it was a lot of fun. So it's this Friday night. If you guys are free, come on out. And like I said, Elan, who runs it, is terrific. He's a great speaker. Next, Earth Day is the following day, so we'll be up till at least 10 o'clock on stargazing, then back to Happy Hollow by 7:30, 8 o'clock the next day. After that is the National Ride a Bike Day. I talked about that a couple of times, that we're trying to put it together as a way to engage with the community, give out those free helmets we have. So we are having it, it's been communicated, and the responses are even great. We partnered with Go Grava. If you guys haven't been to that new bike shop, it's over on Park Road, 840 Park Road, North Park Road near Loomis, in that little plaza.
I had my bike in there for a tune-up.
The guy's a super guy. He's a vet, ex-Marine Corps, super guy. He's gonna come out and he's gonna give free safety checks. He's gonna give away some free tune-ups as a raffle, give away stickers and some other things. He's just happy, he's gonna leave a sign in his window that says, "I'm closed, I'm over at Happy Hollow, come see me." So I'm glad to be partnering with him. Kona Ice is gonna come out and be with us. The police department is gonna have their bike patrol there as a meet and greet. And today I reached out to Second Wind Bicycles. If you haven't heard of them before, they're a donation center. So they collect old bikes, kind of refurbish them, and then donate them to needy individuals. So we are gonna do it. It's Sunday, May 5th, 1 to 3. Shouldn't be a ton of work. It's going to be something that's pretty easy, but it's still pretty enjoyable kind of afternoon to stop by and see. The fishing rodeo is moving forward, and then right now I think we're at 55 registered participants. In the past we haven't mandated that or even recommended it. We're using my rec to try to get a tally of where we're at with things, but right now we have 55 people pre-registered, and that's not counting people who are just going to walk up and show up and be part of it. The Boy Scouts are going to do a poaching patrol the night before to make sure nobody goes in and tries to fish early. Spend the night, have a nice camp out. Right now we have over 900 fish ranging in sizes all the way up to I think 21 inches, 22 inches. So for the big prize fish. So we're excited about that one as well. Memorial Day Parade, now my focus from being nervous about pool and playground has shifted to these two parades. Memorial Day, I feel good about. We've already got confirmed participation from a lot of people. Everybody who's been there in the past have already confirmed to come back and do it again. We're working on a couple of new people to come out. The biggest news that's going to come out of this, and I think I explained about this kid before, he oversees keeping history alive. 22-year-old kid goes to Alvernia. Tyler. He let me ride in his 1945 Willie the other day, which was a great fun thing. But he's going to have between 55 and possibly 60, 65 World War II vets.
Wow.
It'll be the single largest assembly of vets, World War II vets in the country.
Nice.
So, which is huge, newsworthy wise.
Press release, yeah.
So,
Are you alerting the paper?
what's that?
Are you alerting the radio?
Oh yeah, we'll write a press release and make sure we get all that out.
WFMC, nobody reads anything anymore, unfortunately.
You just have to talk to.
I ended up talking to him.
So we're really excited. For a guy who's a vet and who's lost relatives and things, this is a big day for me. I like this event, and I want to bring it back to what it's supposed to be, a true day of remembering versus burgers, backyards, and barbecues. You can do both, but you got to remember what
Well, I
you're
think
really
we've
doing.
always kept that in mind. I think we were pretty good about keeping it a
Yeah.
service and then,
Matt Gutman, I double checked. I know a couple of you said, hey, is he going to be around, because he's 99 years old, is he going to be around on May 25th? And talking to Tyler, he's in great shape. He's super excited that he's going to be there. Tyler's working with him to write like a 5 to 6 minute speech to be part of the ceremony.
I can tell you your list of 19 participants is already +1 from last year.
Oh, nice. 4th of July.
well, can I go back? Can you tell us how it's going to pan out? There was a lot of controversy with service, no service last year. Wyomissing Hills Social Club took over the things that went on, the procedures. Is that different, the same?
Michelle sent me a 11 email chain. That's next on my thing to do is to tackle that and figure that out, the
The
logistics of
borough's
it.
position is the same, that was voted on by council.
So,
Yes. No, I'm not arguing. I just know that there was, it was brought up at the very last minute as
Yeah.
far as I understood last year. And it was very hard to hustle that together. So now we have some time.
we talked about it today.
Yeah.
I'll say I'm very lucky that Kristen's the chairperson of this committee too, that we talked about it today,
Yeah.
and she's gonna schedule a meeting with the Hills Social Committee and get together and have a conversation of how we're gonna handle this.
I'm on the subcommittee for the social committee too.
Oh.
I'm a liaison, but
Yeah.
Jen,
I was at the last meeting,
okay, yeah, I
we
wasn't
talked,
there.
like, I know the social committee put in the calendar that there would be a bike contest. So hopefully, do we have like a bike section?
There will be a bike section.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
hopefully the goal is
this isn't the
just-
lineup, this is
Yeah.
just people that have confirmed.
So hopefully that will get more kids out with their bikes, and then we talked about trying to organize something possibly in the WAC parking lot Friday night, where this committee would supply like just some streamers, some simple stuff, and kids can bring their bikes and decorate them there. And try and do that for like an hour and a half, 7 to 8 or so, to try and get more kids. And like we said, maybe, I was gonna talk to you guys, like, they could lock their bike up somewhere there, instead of having to like truck it back home if they're living on this side of the neighborhood instead of over there, sort of decorate, I don't know, we'll
So
see.
they start at the school, I think.
Yeah, they started behind the school there, yeah, and the school, I think the school bike rack is undercover, if I recall.
So different there.
But yeah, they're gonna do what they can to make sure this keeps
Cool.
going.
Now, there was like a ceremony issue last year, like
Yeah,
the actual
separate-
service.
separate-
Well, and the word, so yes, I put Randy in touch with Howard,
Howard, that's.
Howard, right? My old neighbor.
so yes, we're working on it.
4th of July, I don't really have anything to update on that yet. We did agree at the last meeting that the theme is American Dreams. Programming, I don't really need to go over really anything with the playground. We already talked through that. The pool, We did hire Chris George, he's our new pool manager. He is studying to take his pesticides and application test with a couple of Greg's guys. After that, he'll take the pool operator certification. So he's very vested in wanting to be successful in his role. We have 3 interviews set for Thursday for an assistant manager position with the pool. 2 that were current pool managers or pool assistant managers, and 1 from the outside. So real happy with him. Right now we have 50 registrations for pool memberships, and Public Works has begun that $150,000 improvement project at the pool.
Do you know what the pool registration was last year, family-wise?
Total, not off the top of my head. I mean, I can check and get back to you, I don't know off the top of my head.
Just into where we were in relation to that
Yeah.
number for last year.
I would, based on what Kathy told me about playground, I would think it's the same way, that people wait till the last minute because they get to hold their money, and then just before the pool opens, they all sign up for
Yeah.
memberships. That would
My
be,
mom's doing
that would be my guess. But I'll check and see what the total number was. Tennis registration's open. Right now we have 8 people that have signed up for that. Swimnastics is open as well, and as of this afternoon, there's still been no registration on that. And part of the pool committee, that's one of the initiatives with them, is how do we make swimnastics more engaging and get more people involved at different age groups. So it might not be something we can do right away, but that's the plan. And this kind of reflects that. I think that the community thinks of our swimnastics program as an 85-year-old program.
It's always been.
I would do it if it weren't during the day.
Can
when
you,
I'm at work.
can you do gymnastics without being a member of the pool?
There is a non-member fee, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that might be a good idea, just maybe print out flyers and maybe put them in the schools to hand out, so that people hear about it. Cause this is the first time I've ever actually heard about gymnastics.
It's an adult program, isn't it?
It is, as it is today.
Jimmy,
it's
it's those ladies in the pool that you're during practice.
Oh.
There you
Those
go.
old ladies on the other end?
And
That's
that one
what it
is. They used to come in.
And that's why we're talking
Like, I
about,
know
we
what
want to
that
get younger people involved in it.
Now you want in, right?
No.
There were like
We will not
jazzercise
put
people
that in the
out
minutes,
there.
don't worry.
There
Or,
were
swim
some
team, I
really
read that.
lively people that we could try to get to our pool in the evenings. Go on.
Lastly, swim lessons, so far have 20 registrations in. Slots are filling up, so.
Do you know who's gonna, teach those? Cause, I don't know if anyone's still certified on that in your staff.
Chris is certified, and his plan was he's going to certify other lifeguards.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great.
Any questions? Okay.
Wonderful. Thank you for the report, Randy. Moving on, any old business anyone still has floating around?
No, because it's not on the agenda, so we can't talk about it.
All right, in that case, on to new business.
New business, the summer basketball league, which kind of goes hand in hand with taking down the rims. Coach Anders reached out to me. This is something they did last year. It sounds like they got rained out more than they actually played. It was a Tuesday-Thursday league. He said he had 8 different high schools participate. It's a girls program at Happy Hollow. Me personally, I think it's a wonderful opportunity. With the success that the girls program had, I think it's a great aspirational program that smaller kids can come watch these high school kids and look at them and go, oh, that could be me. With the popularity of girls basketball right now, we should be offering as much as we possibly can. Coach Anders pretty much runs the whole thing. He does the schedule, he does the referees, they play from 6 to 8. So we'd have to alter our evening playground program to make sure that the kids aren't playing football from 6 to 8 on those 2 days. Me personally, I think it's a great idea. One of the things when I first interviewed for the role and I found out that we took basketball rims down, I thought that was a horrendous move, in my opinion. As a basketball player, I think that that's terrible for the community. I'm not here to preach my specific religion when it comes to that, but it's part of life of drugs, loud music, and cussing. I think that it's gonna happen, and it happens whether those basketball rims are up there or not. I talked to Greg as an alternative, is it something we could put up and take down? And that is not feasible. He doesn't have enough hours in the day to do something like that. So my recommendation would be put them up at Happy Hollow, run the league, and let it kind of police itself. Talk to Chief Phillips and have, if we can get increased patrol going through there, I will more than likely be there, and see how it goes. If it's still a huge failure, and we still feel that it doesn't work, then we have to reevaluate it. But I would say we should at least put those rims back up. Michelle asked me about the ones at the Hills. The basketball court at the Hills is in terrible condition. I walked through it with Greg, and he's got it on his 3 to 5 year plan of making some changes at that playground with concerns to basketball. But it's not usable. There's too many ridges. We're gonna try to dribble the ball, it hits it and goes anywhere it wants to. So I don't think I would put the rims back up on that side. It doesn't do us any good. You can't play full court with it.
I put them back up.
You play big.
Emily
Or-
wants to play there
Oh.
so bad. Emily and her friends are dying to go out there and play.
Yeah,
Like
the
the
kids
kids
would
would.
still.
I appreciate you putting the rims back up.
I agree with you. I think you should just put them back up at both. If you're putting them up at one, I think you should just do it at both.
Yeah, I mean, if they wanna play on.
If they wanna play on a
Yeah, the kids wanna play on a
private court, but
Is the little kids court on the other side by the pavilion, is that a full court? Is there 2 rims up there, or is
No,
it
it's
2
just-
different heights? There's a really low one, and then there's a second one that's opposite it, that makes it look like it's a full court, but I think that they're at different
No, I
heights,
don't
like one's a
think so.
little kid
I
and one's
think you're
another little kid.
Yeah.
I mean, but even last year at the Hills Court, the night we had the prom at the playground, there were guys playing full court basketball up there, even with the state of the service at that
Yeah.
point in time. I mean, and those were some of the kids, like some of the players off the Reading team were out there playing, and they just, you know, we're gonna have them up to use. I mean, people are gonna utilize that, you know.
Yeah.
It might not be a court you're gonna play on, but it still, I think, has a lot of utilization.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think what I'm looking for is for us to either, what is it, approve,
We
table
need a
it?
motion to
Yeah.
approve putting the hoops back up, and I would say at Happy Hollow and at Wyomissing Hills.
I'll do it.
So we have a motion to put the,
I'll make a motion. Put it in there in really big letters so that my husband can see it. That I am making a motion. to Put the hoops
Second,
back
it's
up
italicized and bolded.
at
Mike's not here.
both Happy Hollow and the Hills playgrounds.
we have a motion, and
I
there's a second. Wonderful. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Right, so the hoops are going back up.
Next item, Michelle's gonna go over.
To those of you, Kate, I think you're probably the only one that may remember back in 2019, Rob got a grant from the NFC.
I do, remember.
There was nowhere to put the court, which, let me scroll to a picture of what said court looks like, and there's now an improved version of the court where there's a studio on one side and the fitness components are on the other. So the great thing about this court is you can program it with an instructor to come in and do everything from Zumba, yoga, whatever your heart desires, to what you're seeing on the screen now is meant to be standalone, that a resident can just go and use it. There's a QR code they scan, it pulls up all different types of workouts that they can do. So the NFC, which is the National Fitness Court, reached out to me, hey, you guys had this grant 5 years ago, it's expired, we've since kind of revamped the court, would you be interested in applying for a new grant? The total cost is, for the option we would want, a little over 200,000. The grants max out at 30 to 40, but as Rick can attest to, we have multiple land development projects going to the Planning Commission and Council that each have to pay a recreation impact fee of $1,200 per residential unit.
Yeah.
So I think it would be a no-brainer to offset the balance of what grant funding wouldn't cover with recreation impact fees to 100% fund the cost of the court, assuming if the rec board's in favor of this, the next step would be taking it to infrastructure and likely park and shade to determine location. I think there's options there again too, we've talked with the developer about putting it on their property, but it has to be accessible to the public. We could look at different locations in the existing park system. I also think this fits a really niche demographic we've been trying to reach for a very long time and have not been able to. I mean, everybody from kids up to senior citizens can use
This
this.
is
No
like-
staffing, no,
Right, it's like Grings Mill in one little spot. You know, all those things at Grings Mill you can do, those
Yeah.
different stations?
yeah,
Is that, do those impact,
recreation
Fees.
impact fees,
is that a yearly thing they pay?
once,
Just a once and done?
yes.
And how many new places are going up?
So we currently have
600,
pending, more than that. 654, 210, another
In the
100,
borough,
Where?
different places,
like behind,
Can you
like
see that information?
behind like where Starbucks and that salad place is that
No.
count? No.
no, that's commercial zoning, multifamily is not permitted, mainly actually in Berkshire Heights,
In Reading, Van Reed,
yeah.
up the hill from the Old Friendlies.
One over here by the Met, boutique down here on Penn, and the Boiler House Island.
Is the McCarthy still doing units?
So that's enough, that's
That's
that,
way more, I mean, one of these projects would fully fund what's left over.
no way.
$1,200 per unit.
Oh,
Well, so
okay.
the two ten.
I missed that, I missed that part.
Usually
You
under
know,
$20,000.
like, I don't, I'm not doing that.
Van Reed project.
I love this.
So you're
Oh, 'cause they came in,
We changed
we
it.
changed the ordinance, but still. Yeah, between Boiler House and the other ones, like,
And that's they have to pay, have someone make sure they do that.
Does
I
this,
don't release their land development plans for recording until I have the check and it clears, so yes.
does this offset, so some of the requirements of that unit is that they don't have on-site recreational facilities for the public. If they put this in, do they still have to pay that per unit fee if this is gonna be publicly available?
I think we'd work something out with them and that the total cost of the, like, the Unit Reading project is a perfect example, their rec impact fee was almost $500,000. So this is half the cost of that. So you pay for this and then maybe we figure something else out long-term for maintenance and we call it a day. I think that's a discussion with the planning commission ultimately and council. But point being, there's likely a way that we can do this without it coming out of taxpayer money in terms of,
I mean, the only downside I see with that to begin with is if something like this gets tucked away in the unit
Yeah.
Reading, nobody's gonna know it's back there, and if it's behind the building, does it really feel like it's public use?
do you
So,
wanna know where I wanted to put it?
do you wanna put it on the front yard?
Front of Borough Hall, right, front of Borough Hall.
I was thinking, I don't know, maybe by the stone house, just saying. So,
It's really wet there.
it was, there's a little sarcasm to that, but it's okay.
Put it right next to
With
the
that,
basketball.
with those recreational fees, is that based, like right now, we're at 11,000
Totally.
residents in
Totally.
Wyomissing?
It's only for new development.
So, but so if our budgets are
So
based
start
on
driving
that
around
sort of by
looking for a spot.
program,
What's
that's, so
what's
this
the
is 11,000.
square footage?
Of the court? Hold on a second. I know one of these things said
So
it.
you wanna do the side with the court and the studio?
Yeah, this,
That-
and I mean, you can get really crazy into picking all different types of art graphics, you can make it a mural, you can personalize it to your community.
I just don't know why
Mike
Herring
Miller
is
can get
a
involved.
not local artist for us.
You can get Albright and Mike Miller involved if you want.
There is one of these up at Kutztown if you wanna go check it out. Kutztown College has one. I know one of these,
As the size.
it's about 2,000 square feet, I wanna say, from when I ran the map on the pad.
Just what?
With the art put around us.
I'm looking.
It's the rules and the trends.
Oh, they look happy.
So does anybody
I love that Grings Mill course. It's just
willing to make a motion to,
To go after the grant again for
Yes.
this NFC campaign.
Make a
Just
motion.
because you go after
What?
the grant
I make a
doesn't mean
motion to go
you're committed to doing
NFC.
it.
So to your,
Stop.
just because we applied for the grant first, it does not guarantee that we're gonna take the grant, and similar to the grant we had from 5 years ago, we obviously voted, took that grant, we never built it, that grant expires, why we're having this conversation, so it doesn't encumber us
Yeah.
to spend any money.
no.
So we have a motion to go after the grant from Kate, any second? second. Any more discussion on applying for the grant? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, so that motion carries. We're gonna try to get this done again. And then, is that the end of the agenda?
That is
It's
it.
the last item.
Rick, your turn, other meetings, no.
So at that point, motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn? Wonderful. Any second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion is adjourned. Thank you all for your time today. Thank you for all your work now in the subcommittee meetings, everybody.